Like, yeah, this is the place where it's happening. I'm Kyle Russell of Crystal Concentrics. And if you're chiming in and you see the chat box, feel free to comment. Say hello, maybe where you're from. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. This, I believe, is my eighth Crystal talk show. And what I've done recently is I've shifted gears a little away from what I used to do, which included a meditation, a very brief meditation. And the reason for that is that it's too short and fast to go really deeply into the experience. And I have a crystal meditation scheduled for next Sunday. So that's the 11th of October. Everyone should know that this isn't like a newscast that is talking about topical events that becomes irrelevant the next day. The education that we're giving you here is, yes, about specific pieces of jewelry, because we're expanding this time from pendants to different types of jewelry, from pendulums to earrings and necklaces. I've got a lot of great show and tell for you. And those things are not going to sell through. This isn't like the Home Shopping Network where I'm just going to plow through product and then it's going to be gone. So if you're watching this after the fact, or if you got notification that this was happening and you were busy or you were tired, you can always watch the replay. This is going live streamed to Facebook, my Crystal Concentrics page, and also to my Crystal Concentrics channel on YouTube. So I'm going to scroll down to see if there's any. Maria, that's good news when you say hello. Sarah got in too. That's excellent. I sent out a newsletter, a reminder a few hours ago saying, hey, this is where the live link's going to be. Check it on out. So without further ado, I have three things that I really like to cover when I do one of these events. One is stuff that's already on my website. You can see from below here, it says crystalconcentrics.com. I have an excellent store there. Most of the product is a little more higher end, and it does not feature all my pendants by any means. But I do have some pieces with me here that I wanted to show you to give you a sense of what is on the website currently for you to check it out. If anyone has questions, hello, Mr. Marshall. What I'm going to do is show you first this, which is a turquoise. I call it the birdie. Hi, Sue. This is called the birdie. It is a light and pale turquoise. Now, I've been talking a lot about turquoise lately because people coming into my store have been buying chrysocolla, and chrysocolla contains malachite and turquoise. Turquoise is a very sort of personal, inward, soft, gentle stone, and the chrysocolla has just a little bit more to do with how you interact socially in a peaceable and humble way with other people. The turquoise has more to do with self-forgiveness and gentle inner talk. And there are two types of turquoises I want to show you. One is this light one like the birdie, and one is this dark one, which is quite rich and wonderful. And it's kind of folds over. It's got great character and personality. I happen to love both of these. And it's hard to know whether a turquoise has been stabilized. Often they do stabilize them, which means giving them some sort of treatment so that they don't crack, so they can be carved more easily, and so they can be set more easily into jewelry. So whether something is stabilized or not may not matter to you. I know for me, it doesn't make a huge difference. What matters more to me is if it's the light baby blue color or if it is this darker, rich color. Now, I've never shown you a necklace, but here is a turquoise necklace. Gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Really nice kind of faceted beads. And it's got great color. And it's got an adjustable tie at the back so that you can make it longer like it is now, or tighten it up and make it shorter. I don't know about you, but I like to wear my necklaces and pendants a little bit longer, particularly because once I clip a 24-inch necklace, I don't have to unclip it to put it on. It goes right over my head. And then I'll wear a 30-inch necklace to go down lower so that the two stones don't bump into each other. And I was wearing this pendant earlier. This is one of my personal pieces. You can see it's a very gemmy, dark rose quartz, a little bit translucent and nicely wrapped. Look at that wrap work on the bottom particularly is quite extraordinary. And this was a gorgeous gem rose quartz that I had gotten just while I was buying rose quartzes, but it was so outstanding, I set it aside like I have about 150 other stones in order to have them set and wire wrapped by my guy, which turns out to be much cheaper than some of the pendant setting that you might see out there from conventional jewelers. So that is good news that you can get one of these things made even with one of your own stones. So feel free to contact me. You can email me, Kyle@crystalconcentrics.com. If you have a stone that you want to get wrapped. I have a friend who had two, a moldavite actually, and something called a columbianite. Columbianite is a tektite, just like moldavite, which is a blended space and earth volcanic glass. And he was tired of paying so much to have them set. So he sent them to me, and then I send them to my guy, comes back to me, and then I mail them out to you. That is how the wire wrapping process goes. Now, this one is not something that I really have commonly available, but in case you don't know, from my personal belief, the rose quartz is all about unconditional love. Now, a couple more pieces I want to show you from my online collection. These are pieces that you can go to my website, crystalconcentrics.com, and see right now. This one is a jet, and it's a circular disc, and it was just wrapped very exquisitely. And the thing I like about jet is that it's very similar to amber in that it has a very light density. So it sort of lifts blockage, it lifts inflammation in a way that lightens the load and helps you when you're having certain issues. Even cancer is the type of thing that's, or an infection of some sort. I used to put a piece of amber right on my over on my cheek here when I was having an infection in my teeth, and it definitely made me feel better. And so interestingly, unless I'm mistaken, you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure there's a mythology that amber is used for babies as a teething aid for them to sort of chew on and bite on, and help soothe their gums. Now, what if it's not? What if it's the energy of the amber more than the amber itself that's doing that? Very interesting thing to consider. Hello, Lijana. So the other stone I wanted to show you is, well, so that's jet. So jet I call all about internal clearing. And then sort of at the opposite end of the spectrum is a giant ruby crystal. So you see it's all rough. It's like a great big tooth, and the tip has been shined so you can get just a little bit of starring on it. And ruby, unlike jet, is incredibly grounding. It's a real earth stone that that if you're wearing it around your neck, you can just reach up, hold it, and feel that sort of sense of connection to the earth that gives you instant grounding when you need it. So those are some stones from my website, and you can check them out now. But if you see anything that you like, or you're thinking, oh, maybe I'd like to get something, you know, along those lines, feel free to email me, because I've got a huge stock and many more pieces that I cannot hope to share in a situation like that. Oh, thank you, Sue. You did read that about amber. Now I'm going to switch gears and give you a look at some earrings, because we haven't talked about earrings before, and I have so many great earrings. And I'm going to start by showing you these, which are stupidly on sale. These are only $48. They're super glittery. You see the glitter in there. They claim that the back stone is ground lapis. I don't really buy that. Sometimes you have to take people's claims with a grain of salt and just think, you know what, I like something because I like it, whether it's a real stone or not. And later we're going to talk about some treated material that is super exquisite, and I think you'll really, really like it. I know I've been impressed by it. Here is a pendant of this glittery stuff with a nice ohm. So this is a whole line that I carried a lot of, and I haven't had the need or opportunity to get more of them. So I'm selling what I have for lower than normal prices. This one is $48 and it used to be $78. So that's $30 off. Another piece that I have that's super on sale is this one. These are sort of a waterfall of different pieces of nephrite jade, all connected onto these silver earrings. They're dangly. They cost $70 now, and they used to be $120. So that means they're $50 off, almost 50% off. I can't promise that that's what they're going to be forever, but right now, if you do express interest and you write me at my website, Kyle@CrystalConcentrics, or even just message me, if you're the first person to lay dibs on these beautiful nephrite dangling earrings, they could be yours. Now, I am a big fan of nephrite because I think of it as the Mother Earth stone. It's not so much grounding as embracing and sort of representative of Gaia, the basic, original, primeval continent, and Earth itself, Mother Earth itself. And I want to make a point during these events to share with you some jade, some sugilite, and some rhodochrosite, because those are my I won't say my big three per se, but they are a big three. They're very major, powerful stones that happen to be more rare and also happen to be a little bit harder for people to find. So I'm going to show you actually two pieces that are on my website. Look at this one. This is a great big monster of a pendant. Very beautiful and very comfortable. It's like a big worry stone to hold on to. And like I mentioned before, when you reach up and you hold the ruby, it's very grounding. When you reach up and hold the jade, it's very soothing. I had a jade ring that I've been wearing for a long time, and I did a dumb, exercise like this, and I cracked it. And then I clapped my hands at some point a week later, and it just went flying everywhere. So that was too bad. Usually jade is very durable. I wore that ring for 2 years, and it was because of my own mistreatment that it broke. Now, this is an incredible pendant that's available. You see it's got this sort of interesting angled cuts on it. And I have another one I want to show you, which is one of those little Koru spirals inspired by the New Zealanders. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous color and that sweet wave, curling wave. It's symbolic both of waves, but also of the universe and the way that the solar system spins and turns and the galaxies spin and turn. And you see it's been wrapped rather exquisitely by my very cool wire wrapper. So sometimes, just to show you the difference, sometimes the bales are these kind of heavy-duty, simple things, and sometimes they're a little more fanciful like this. And you can request one or the other depending on what it is that you like. But I love a nice nephrite jade. That is the jade that I'm showing you for this time. I'm actually going to dip out of the jade for a second and show you something else very cool. Somebody came into my shop today and asked if I had a cross. And I said, yes, I do. This is a jade cross, a real nephrite jade cross. And it's quite gorgeous, has a chain and everything. And if it's something that interests you, you definitely want to be in touch with me, because I only have this one, I think, right now. And it's really hard to get jade carved out of China. The jade itself comes from Canada, but all the carving work is done in China. So that's a little word to the wise for you about that. Now, earlier I had talked about the light and clearing energy of jet. What I'm going to show you here is another light and clearing energy. And this is none other than black coral. And it's got that, look at that interesting little color thing going on in the back there. And when I turn it on its side, you can see it has a little bit of concentric circles like a log, because black coral grows like a tree with layers and layers, and then you cut it and you see the layers. Black coral is probably not something that's really available anymore. And I happen to have just a few pieces of it. And I showed one last time, and I'm showing you this nice cross this time. So if you're a fan of cross jewelry, these are definitely unique to get a hold of while you can, because they're not common. Sticking with jade a little longer, I'm going to show you two necklaces. So here we have full necklaces. So they're very exquisitely wrapped. This one more simply, this one in a more complex way. And on both of the other ends, they have the adjustability so that you can pull and make them come up or come down on your chest, depending on what you like. And I'm going to show you the difference. These are both blue jades. And I'm going to show you they're jadeite instead of nephrite, and they're from Guatemala. So you see, they're quite pretty. This one looks really sweet and light. And then this one, the one with the hole in it, has a richer color. You can see it's thicker, it's more translucent, it has more expertise in the carving. And the difference is between like $40 for this one and $120 for this one. So the more valuable material costs 3 times as much. And a lot of people are like, well, gosh, you know, I got a jade pendant for $30 or $40. Why is this $120? And I do this type of a show in order to educate you about why something might be more expensive. The color might be better. The cut might be better. It's a bigger piece. It's a more three-dimensional piece. So many different considerations do go into determining what the cost and value of a piece of jewelry might be. Now, I have some other things I'm showing you, which are, this is a disc necklace. You see that? Love spell, love, attraction, and confidence. And I'm going to read the backs of them to explain what stones they are. And this one here is Spirit Guide. And so say, if I just read Spirit Guide, it says Tiger Eye, psychic ability, intention, courage, inspires courage and clarity of intention, provides grounded energy, enhances psychic abilities, protects against ill wishing and curses. Now, I'm just going to pick that apart for a second, because I'm writing a book right now about crystals, and one of the things that I mention in it is that I take issue with the way most people describe stones as being, as having like 10 amazing qualities that are contradictory. In this case, we have psychic ability as well as groundedness. Now, to me, you can have a psychic ascension stone and balance it with a grounding stone, but it's not really common or expected that one stone will do both of those things for you. And my theory as to why it appears online and in books with so much contradictory information is that people are trying to cover all their bases. So you as the reader will be reading through and be like, oh yeah, I do need grounding. Oh, I love ascension and I want to pursue my psychic abilities. So this stone has it all. But the problem is that the next stone will have the same 10 qualities juggled in a different order. And you'll be saying the same thing about that. It's a great way to sell stones. I don't think it's a great way to explain stones. However, having these explanations like this have been very helpful to me, because a lot of people at shows or who come into my store don't want to think too deeply about why something is what it is or does what it does. They just want to know that this beautiful piece here will contribute in the following ways to their life. And that is awesome. And if I had the machinery, the organization, and the raw materials, and the team, the working team, to make these myself, I would, but I do not. So that's why I'm happy to sell this work that other people do. And these are generally $38, and I have them on sale. If you're interested, you could write me. I call them the disc necklaces, and I can share with you some of the different types. I will be probably uploading them, because I've just activated my Power Stone Crystals eBay site store, and I've activated my Crystal Concentrics Etsy store. So I am now fully loaded online, having my own site, which is getting an overhaul. We're going to be able to upload a lot more products soon, and Etsy and eBay. And we're going to be going with a Facebook store as soon as we can, hopefully by the end of this month. And one of the things that's going to be special about the Facebook store is I'm going to focus on items that are $50 and under, which is very good news for those who don't want to be splurging gigantic numbers on their jewelry or crystals. Now, here's another stone that I'm a big fan of. This is rhodochrosite. It's a rhodochrosite heart with a gorgeous amethyst at the top and a very thick bail that you can run any size chain through. And the patterning on the front of the rhodochrosite is a perfect match for the heart shape. And I bought this from a Chinese friend of mine who always charges much more than I think he should charge, but I haven't found them anywhere else. They're big, they're gorgeous, and they sell because people love the look and feel of this stone. And I was thinking about rhodochrosite too. Rhodochrosite for me is a root stone having to do with regeneration. And I was taking a nap earlier, and I was thinking about how the nap was regenerating me. And I was realizing that that same energy of regeneration that happens when you take a nap or you get a good night's sleep is the energy that you get from rhodochrosite. So I'm a huge, huge fan of rhodochrosite, and I always recommend it. I have lots of pendants, but look at this incredible bracelet. I had this bracelet made. I had gotten these beads, and then I have a guy who strings beads together and makes incredible bracelets like this. So I'm in love with this material. I love rhodochrosite, and I like when it's a pendant, and I like when it's a bracelet. The reason I think that I have focused so heavily on pendants is that pendants are interchangeable. They're easier to wear. You don't have to worry about the size. But that being said, next time I think I'm going to start turning you on to the rings that I have. I have jade rings. I have mixed different stones in ring form. And I also have a huge sugilite collection and a growing moldavite collection. I don't have any moldavite to show you, not a single moldavite to show you today, which I'm sorry about, because that would be my fourth one: jade, rhodochrosite, moldavite, and sugilite. So speaking of Sugilite, I'm going to show you a gorgeous, gorgeous pendant. Check that out. Very sweet, wonderful, and beautiful. You'll notice that the back is a little darker. I keep it in this plastic thing. It prevents the silver from tarnishing. But you can see that there's a darker backing. So what they do, because Sugilite is I call it the manifestation stone, by the way, and it's like lapis in the sense of bringing the unmanifest into manifestation. And if you have any questions about these stones or anything that I've covered, feel free to comment either now or later. And I'll be happy to answer your questions. The thing I want to tell you about Sugilite is that I break it into two varieties. One is called chromatic, which this is. Chromatic means mostly it's a surface color that you're experiencing. And then I have the other type, which this one is, which I call lucent. So lucent Sugilite is actually more of a gel. It allows light to pass through it, and it runs from pink to purple, and sometimes a lighter. This is nice because you've got a bit of a spectrum from the dark purple through middle darkness and then to almost a light pink at the bottom. And Sugilite is one of my favorites for this reason, but when it becomes translucent like this, or when it becomes a lucent Sugilite, the value skyrockets. It becomes much, much more valuable because it's simply not replaceable. Every one of these Sugilites is one of a kind. And you saw that color and the richness and the beauty of it, but I'm going to show you something a little bit different just because I want to introduce you to a different type of jade. This is purple jade, and I'm going to show you the Sugilite here. So there's that. And then I'm going to show you the purple jade. You see, it's similar, but not the same. And once you get a good sense of the difference, the purple jade is never translucent. It's always chromatic, but it's not totally two-dimensional. You can see it's got texture, it's got rich, it's got depth and dimension to it. This was a nice cabochon that I had wrapped with this wonderful bottom and this very pretty top. So purple jade is gorgeous stuff. Definitely something that you'll want to play with and get into your collection. I have over here a necklace that looks like a pendulum, which is pretty incredible because this you could use as a pendulum. And that is a good segue from this purple jade pendulum necklace, which again is such a cool idea that you can wear it as a necklace, but then also take it off and use it as a pendulum. Very wonderful stuff. And speaking of pendulums, I brought a bunch of pendulums to show you because these are what I call my deluxe pendulums. It's like I'm giving you a little marionette show here. And I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I will talk at least about two of them. This one's very sweet. It is how can I show you? There we go. It is a amethyst angel at the top with the bottom there, comes to a point, and it also works as a pendulum. You could theoretically make it into a necklace. In fact, I'm doing something that I want to tell you about that's very exciting and very not here. I'm actually having some chains made up because someone came to me with a broken pendulum, and I sent it to my wire wrapper, and he created an extraordinary pendant out of it so that you could use it as a pendant or as a pendulum. Post earrings. I'm getting a request about post earrings. I will show you a couple of post earrings right now, but I just want to finish about the pendulums. So the other thing that happens with pendulums is that the chains will break. So I'm going to start carrying a line of chains that you just clip onto your pendulum, and then you're all set. You don't have to worry about the fact that you have broken your previous chain. Now, the other pendulum I want to show you is this one here. Let's see if we can get it close to you. There we go. So this is aquamarine. You could see it's actually blue, and the stone on the top is a moonstone. I'll let these sort of hang and dangle as I talk about them. I wonder if YouTube will want me to choose this picture as the summary picture for the whole show. But what's special about these deluxe ear pendulums is that they are made with actual silver. They're not super cheapo material, which most of the pendulums are. So I'm going to leave you the pendulums. I'm going to talk about more of those next time. But I saw a request for post earrings, and I happen to have a couple that I wanted to show off. One is this gorgeous blue prehnite. Very sweet stuff. I mean, excuse me, not prehnite, kyanite, my mistake. This is blue kyanite, and you can see the light is playing with it, which means it's a very good quality kyanite. So those are kind of nice, and so are these other ones I'm going to show you, which are tiger eye. They're the nice tiger eye ones. So they've got pretty sweet color, and they're only 28 bucks. And they're post, and they're actually pretty big sizes. If I put them here, you can see they're a good sized earring. I don't have my ears pierced, so there's nothing I can do about that. There are some other very nicely priced pieces, like this gorgeous little quartz faceted. Very sweet. And also this other one, which is a different shape here. That is kind of nice. You could imagine these as great big rings. So that's quartz faceted pendants. If you're interested in those, let me know. I also have a gorgeous rainbow fluorite here, which has got some really exquisite color, and you're not even seeing all of it. Maybe if I pull it back, the whole thing, maybe if I turn it, there we go. You can see that it's got lots of great colors going on for it. So these are some of the, under $100 pieces that I have that are nice. So I've covered a lot of ground. I talked to you about the disc pendants. I talked to you about a couple of cross pendants, the black coral and the jade. I talked about what I was wearing, which is this here. I talked about those faceted quartzes. I showed you a couple of post earrings, and I showed you some on sale earrings, the very cool mandala ones, and also these dangling nephrite jade ones. And we also talked about, what am I missing? Oh yeah, we talked about some other jades. This great big piece here, and then this very sweet coral swirl. Very awesome. You saw the aquamarine. Thank you, Susan. We talked about rhodochrosite, both a pendant like this and a bracelet like that. And we talked about turquoise, our light turquoise and our dark turquoise, depending on what your favorites are. Have an incredibly colored necklace right here. Very good stuff. We talked about chromatic and lucent Sugi light, which is always a good thing to check out. And we talked about some other pieces that I have, something very grounding, this ruby, and something very light and airy, which is this jet. Last time I talked about amber. And I think we're going to be, well, you know what? I'm going to show you some things that are going to blow your mind. I told you earlier that I have about 150 stones waiting to be turned into pendants. And I'm going to show you right now what these particular pieces look like. Look at that. That's a dendritic quartz. And you see I have a sticker on it that says up. And that tells my wire wrapper the orientation that I want for the piece. But you can see it's really, really amazing. And that's the only white one. We have some exquisite, rich, rust-colored ones like this one. These will be turning into unbelievable pendants soon enough. And here's another one that's a little in between. It's got a little yellow to it. And you can see there's like little ferns growing inside. That's what dendritic quartz is all about. Very cool stuff. So these are things that are going to be made into pendants sometime soon. Now, unless you have any questions, I was thinking of wrapping up. I want to remind you, if you go to the website, crystalconcentrics.com, or you write me a straight Facebook message or through YouTube, because this is going to live to YouTube as well, I'll be happy to write you. Make sure you get onto my mailing list so you can learn about upcoming events. I'm going to explain a little bit about what I do in my online meditations. I have an online meditation next Sunday. I always start without stones, doing a grounding exercise, and then we bring in 1 or 2 stones for a theme. Sometimes I've even gone up to 5 stones. And you do have to sign up. That has a nominal $10 charge for it. But that's what those things are going to cost online later anyhow. And if you do pay in advance, you get the option to see it live, which has a sort of pre-section of us talking and a post-section of us debriefing about the meditation. And that will, if you're not even able to make it to that, entitle you to get the replay access. Later on down the line, hopefully by the end of the year, I am planning on having a whole bunch of online meditations available for you right through my website, crystalconcentrics.com. The store on crystalconcentrics.com is going to have buttons for rhodochrosite and moldavite and jade. And then I'm also going to separate things by specimen versus jewelry. So it's going to be something really, really exciting to look forward to, as well as my book, which is coming out right around Thanksgiving. So here we are at the beginning of October, and I hope that the next time I do this, I'm now doing these shows like every 2 weeks, and I hope that's not too often, but there's a lot of great stuff that I've shown you just tonight. And if you tune in next time, you'll see a whole different batch. I'm going to segregate what we talked about at this show, and I'm going to photograph those items so that you can see them on the Facebook event page, or if you ask to see them, I'm happy to email you the sort of group class shot of all the stones that we talked about. So if nobody has any questions, I am probably going to sign off. I like to keep these 30, 40 minutes so as not to be too long. And, just like a TV show. And then you can go about your evening, and you can also watch the replay, which will be on Facebook and YouTube anytime you want to see it, morning, noon, or night. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you again next. And say hello, write me anytime, Kyle@crystalconcentrics.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been a Crystal Concentrics crystal pendant talk show, but really it's been a crystal jewelry talk show. So I'm happy to continue on that theme and bring you more of this type of programming super soon. The best way to know when it's happening is to become a Facebook friend, watch my page, watch my groups, and sign up onto my newsletter list at crystalconcentrics.com. Thanks everybody for watching. We will be in touch soon. Till